Hey guys, welcome back to another great video. Now, in the previous video, I went over how to create this Battle Royale map in UEFN. So you can go ahead and follow along with that video. I linked it up there on the top right. It's also in the description below. Now in this video, we're going to spend more time on settings. I'm going to go through all the settings I'm using for Micro Royale. Now there are a lot of bugs right now in UEFN. So we're going to go over these one by one. And right now, making a BR in 2023, I would adjust some of these settings a little differently than I would have before, and that's only because a few things are not working correctly at the moment. Now, voice chat I have set to all. During the time of this recording, UEFN does not support voice chat. Hopefully that does change, and the moment it does change, it will just start working. Max players, 20. Now that's what I chose for Micro Royale. You can make this whatever you want. In this case, I'm choosing 20. Micro Royale is a pretty small island. Now, normally under teams, I would choose dynamic in a normal BR. However, there is a bug right now, which we'll get into a little bit later on, where if you set the game type to free-for-all, it actually is broken at the moment. So if you choose free-for-all, the game will end in a draw. We don't want that. We want there to be a clear winner. So for right now, building a map in 2023, you are going to have to set it to teams, and those teams need to match the max players. So if it's a max player of 24, you need to make sure there are 24 teams. 30, you need to make sure there are 30 teams. Hopefully that makes a little more sense, but you just want to make sure those numbers are matching. The team size is going to be 1. That is for BR solos. So we want to make sure that is set to 1. Spawn limit 1. We only want everyone to have 1 life. So you want to make sure that's set to 1. Once they get eliminated in the game, they go to spectate mode and they will watch until the next round begins. After last spawn, go to spectating so you can watch the rest of the game through somebody else's eyes as they finish off the round. Total rounds, 100. Why did I choose the most amount of rounds? Well, I'll tell you why. You want to keep people in your game as long as possible. If you set this to 1 to 5 rounds, which I see a lot of BRs do, what happens? People play 1 to 5 rounds, and then they leave. They go to the next map. They only left because you kicked them out of your map early. So I would suggest making this 100. We're not going to go over every little thing, right? Just match my settings, but things that I think are important, we're going to go over. Time limit, I set to none. Now with set to none, why would I choose that? The storm is actually going to indicate when the game ends, not the time limit. So there does not need to be a time limit. Go ahead and just copy all of these settings. Last standing ends game. Yes, this is going to choose how the game ends. So you're going to choose last standing ends game. Join in progress. Now, for my Micro Royale, I do have something a little more advanced. So I have people spawning in, and then later on they're getting eliminated. The reason I'm doing this is I want people to be able to join the game up until the very end, but not all the way to the end. For your settings, however, and we can get into this one in more detail later, but for this general setting setup for this video, you should set it to spectate. So make sure it's set to spectate. Spawn location, sky. It's a BR, you want people to launch from the sky. Post-game location, island start works. Auto start. Why do I set auto start to 90 seconds? Well, this really applies to Nintendo Switch users. It takes a while for them to load into a game. So the longer you allow their device to load the map, the better. It's going to create a better experience for everyone. Game start countdown. This is also helpful between rounds. Why do we have this? A lot of this countdown is really so the game can load. So we want that 3 seconds there as a buffer so the game can load each round and people can have the best experience possible. Allow spectating other teams. I like having this on. That way people can watch other people when they are in spectate mode and they can switch from player to player. Elimination score, I set that to 1 so you can track your score on a scoreboard. Allow friendly fire. Now why am I doing this? There is another bug currently in Fortnite when if you set up on teams, sometimes it will, even though you set it to 1 person per team, it will put people on the same team. It's a bug that happens every now and again, but if you set this to friendly fire, then those people that are teammates, quote unquote, will be able to at least eliminate each other and they won't even know they're on a team. All right, now on this page, go ahead and copy a lot of these settings. You definitely don't want infinite ammo, consumables, or resources in a BR, but if you want to make it different, go for it. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. I do a maximum building resources of 500. You can go all the way up to 1,000. Actually, I may just leave it at that. That will be the next update. You can go up to 1,000 now. Harvest style, I leave it at Battle Royale. That way it's most true to the game. And I make sure the harvest multiplier is set to 1. You can also up that harvest multiplier if you want people to get mats even faster. Building can destroy environment, yes. Environmental damage, yes. Structure damage, yes. All of that's very common to a BR, so we want to make sure that stays the same. We want to make sure pickaxe destruction is on. Start with pickaxe, yes, that way you can pickaxe and harvest. So we want to make sure eliminated players drop their items, so like a traditional BR, you can get those items, you've earned them since you were able to take out that player. Respawn time, 1 second. This only applies if you're going to have multiple spawns. You could have this set to 1 second. Either way, it will just ignore it. So spawn immunity time is only if people are respawning more than once. And if they come in a second, third, or fourth time, this allows them to be invincible for about 10 seconds. Now in a traditional BR, you do die from fall damage, so I do like to keep that on. I do turn off jump fatigue. I find nowadays that jump fatigue being on frustrates people and it can cause them to leave your map. So I leave it off. I turn on mantling. I turn on hurdling. I turn on all the newest features because you want your maps to feel up to date. I do not have glider redeploy on. Some BRs do like to have it on. I do not. So allow show nameplates. You want to set this to always hide. The reason is sometimes, like I mentioned before, people are put on the same team. So it will show nameplates of people on your team. But if you allow friendly fire and show nameplates to hide, people won't even know they're on the same team. It's just to fight a current bug that's in UEFN. All of these bugs, by the way, apply to Fortnite Creative as well. I do have Siphon, so you get 50 health, 50 wood, 50 stone, 50 metal every time you get a kill. You get 5 gold to use on vending machines that I have around the map. You don't have to have that, but I like to have it. I want to see all the resource counts, especially the gold one. I added that too because I do have gold in my map, but you could turn that off if you don't want gold. And then everything else you're just going to leave at its default. Last page is UI. I want to make sure that the rounds go pretty quick, so I leave everything at 4 seconds. I use the HUD info type as tracker so they can see what kind of quests that they need to accomplish. But go ahead and copy all of these to get the best BR experience in 2023. I set the win condition for spawns left. And the only reason I have spawns left in my map is because I have multiple spawns set up. However, in your map, you're going to set this to health. So you want this to be health in your map. For tiebreaker 1, it would be eliminations. Tiebreaker 2 would be damage dealt, and then leave the rest to none. Only because I have a special mechanic in mine do I have it with spawns left. So you're going to ignore that and start with round win condition health. Then tiebreaker 1 will be eliminations and damage dealt. I don't want to show how much health you had left or any of that. I want to keep it very clean and simple. Map screen overlay. Now on a mini BR, most people would choose overview map. I chose scoreboard because the map is so small. I'd rather be about the scoreboard. And guys, that is it. That is how you set up a battle royale in 2023. Until next time, guys, take care and like and subscribe if you like this content. Talk to you soon. Bye.